folks, welcome back to Team Forbidden's YouTube page again. Andrew the Collector here with an update for Dinomorphia. Yes, I have uploaded a update for Dinomorphia I think about a month or two ago, and the meta has changed up a bit with the release of Justice Hunters and everything that's been going around. Plus, I found a really cool tech option in here in the recent set that I think is actually really good for the deck. Playtesting it online has been a real game changer, but I can definitely say that out of all the decks going that you would go up against, Yummy is by far your most challenging one. But we'll get into the text when we get into it, so let's just go ahead and hop right in. So starting off with the monsters, 3 Thrisia, 2 Diplos, and 1 Miscellaneous. This hasn't changed. It's going to be the same as it always has been, unless for some reason they give us new Dinomorphia support, which I doubt that they will, but it's good with how it is. But yeah, this ratio is really good. You could throw in some hand traps like Fualos or Ash Blossom if you want, but it's not needed, especially with the type of deck that you're running. But the choice is up to you, but this is the ratio that I personally go with. Now into the spells, I kind of changed it up a little bit. I have 2 Fossil Dig, 2 Duality, and 1 Card Demise. Card Demise is so broken in this deck. But yeah, before I think I had 3 Fossil Dig and 3 Dualities. I trimmed them down to rearrange the trap cards a little bit. But as far as consistency goes, this is actually really good. You could run Pot of Prosperity, but I decided against that because in the end, there have been times where I would banish cards that I would end up needing later on. So, go by preference, but this ratio has done well for me. Now into the traps. There's a lot of them. Starting off with the obvious ones, we have 3 Frenzy, 3 Domain for your fusion summons, 3 Intact because this card is just super broken. If you try and Frenzy and they try to Ash it, you can activate Intact and you're good to go. And then 1 Sonic for the spell and trap negation. You only need 1 because it does require you to destroy a Dinomorphia monster, whereas Intact you only need to control a face-up Dinomorphia card. So yeah, that's the reason why we have this ratio, and it works out really well. 2 Dinomorphia Alert. This card is actually super underrated. I see a lot of decks run only 1 of it, and I personally think that's incorrect. You need to have as many resources to get back your Rex turn, because they actually can out Rex turn fairly easily every now and then, especially with Super Poly. So if you get Rex turn into your graveyard, it's always good to have a backup plan with Alert, And into the other traps, we have obviously the Solemn Brigade, Solemn Judgment, and Solemn Strike. I'm only running 2 Solemn Strike because it is a more solid life point, solid amount of life points that you need to pay rather than just paying half, which is why I prefer to have this in the opening hand instead of Intact sometimes. But it's worked out well. Same with Iron Thunder. I like this card a lot, but like I've said in the past before, I really missed the opportunity of being able to destroy all cards in this card's column rather than the card that it destroys and your opponent controls. I guess it was a way to balance it out, but it still stinks. And into the new tech, Trapaholic. I saw a deck profile that was going far in a regional. I believe it was a couple weeks ago or a month ago, and he was running this. And the more that I thought about it and the more that I play tested it, this card is actually really, really broken. It's actually way better than Trap Trick, So basically what this card does is you can target a spell or trap card you control, except for itself. It doesn't say that, but the rulings say that you can't target itself, and destroy it. And if you do, set 1 normal trap card from your hand, except another copy from your deck, except another copy of itself. It can be activated this turn while you have 3 or more traps in your graveyard, and you can only activate this once per turn. So let's say that you have this and Domain or Frenzy, either of your fusion spells, and you're trying to activate this. Hopefully they don't have an Ash for this. You can chain Trapaholic, destroy your Domain, and then you can get out any of your other normal traps, such as Alert or even Soul of the Supreme King, your Ferret Flame, or your Dimensional Barrier. So I run 1 Dimensional Barrier because if you activate this to get out Dimensional Barrier and you can activate it during the turn, it can lock down your opponent and pretty much eliminate their entire turn. It's absolutely bonkers. But yeah, 3 Trapaholic, it's so good, and I wouldn't run this deck without it. And that's it for the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck. I kind of tweaked it a little bit. So far, I am liking the ratio I put down, but I'm thinking of moving it back. But I'm running 2 of every of the Dinomorphia fusion monsters. You only realistically need 2 of the Rex term, especially since you're not running Pot of Prosperity anymore. But there have been like 1 or 2 games where I wish I had a 3rd that I could bring out, but that was more for overkill than actual necessity. So, you know, I believe I mainly did it so I can make room for more of the Zark package, which is the titular Plan B of the deck. I am running the full package because having more monsters and bodies out on the board is a lot more necessary nowadays with how fast the boards on either side can swarm you. But yeah, the Zark package, obviously really good. 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos, to bring this out, to be untargetable and undestroyed, and being able to beat over so many of your opponent's monsters. So good. And then 1 Lagi and 1 Dolka. But yeah, you can rearrange the extra deck however you want, depending on what route that you go for. You can go the Super Poly route. You can go the Ultimate Slayer route if you don't run the Supreme King package, but, you know, it's up to you guys. Then off into the side, 3 of the Giant Rock. This card has gone up in popularity with the release of Justice Hunters, mainly because it's really good against Yummy. It's absolutely good against Dragon Tail, but Dragon Tail, Draco Tail. I don't know why they changed it. 3 not so evenly matched because we don't really care for our battle phase if we're going second. So doing this to wipe out their board is absolutely crazy. Gravekeeper's Inscription I think is still good because it shuts down your opponent's graveyard for pretty much 2 turns. And with Orcus still running around, it's absolutely good to have. Same with deck Lockdown. This deck is probably one of the only decks that I have that isn't completely affected by this card, which is why I'm always going to be running it in the side deck as long as it's legal. So, you know. And then 2 Dimensional Barrier because it's Dimensional Barrier, and for the Yummy Hate, since it is your worst matchup, 2 Chain Disappearance and 1 Power Filter. I would go 3 Power Filter, but unfortunately I only have the 1. If you have 3, put in 3, but Chain Disappearance is also really good, but it's a little bit more situational than just slamming down a Power Filter. And that is it for the deck profile, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see any kind of decks or any kind of other videos, please let us know in the comments below. And like always, like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell down below for notifications, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.